everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to do part 2 of the Q&A session. Today we're going to go over the Monster Strike related questions and answer those questions. If you haven't seen part 1, that included questions not related to Monster Strike. We got some Animal Crossing, got some generic questions about me, and of course the list of thank yous, people who just wanted to say thanks but didn't actually have a question to ask. Again, straight up, let me say again, thank you to everybody who does comment all the time, and for those of you who don't, I don't feel bad, but I just wanted to say it does help me out a lot if you do comment on my videos to make sure it gives me the motivation to keep going. And it really does help a lot to hear and see people responding to what I give out for you. And if you have any suggestions, of course, I am open to taking that in to see what I can do better. And yeah, without further ado, let us begin part 2 with some Monster Strike questions. 1 from Wyvern Swiftwing. First, congratulations. I want Gabriel for a long time now, but can't get her every time. So, do you maybe have a tip for getting her and for getting orbs fast? Also, I would like to see a top 10 of your favorite monsters from each attribute with explanation. Well, let's start with the first thing. If you want Gabby, that requires a lot of luck, and so there's really no tips on trying to get her. Just make sure you are pulling on the right gacha, because Gabriel is only available in the DX gacha, which is not the best gacha to pull on. So hopefully you gotta find when she gets that rate up on the DX. I'm not sure if it's gonna be there all the time, but since she is limited to the DX hatcher, hopefully you are pulling on the right hatcher to try and get her, but of course otherwise it is quite difficult to get her. So just hope for the best, and keep pulling on there. If she is really she is the character you really want in Monster Strike, you gotta focus on the DX, and then maybe just wait for the rate up months to get her. In terms of getting orbs fast, you just gotta be diligent about doing everything. Every new quest can give you 2 or 5 orbs depending on their difficulty. As you complete missions, you can get orbs that way. Make sure you don't miss out on those. Clear out the normal quests if you haven't already. And then the other thing is just do all the big money makers. So the Tower of Champions, go through the Jades, go through the Abyss. They're difficult, but if you need orbs, then those are the best ways to get a large chunk. You shouldn't be missing anything from the Tower of Champions, because that's 64 orbs there. Don't miss out on the Reverse Tower, which gives you another 20 or so. The Abyss, I think, also gives you another 20 or so. The same with the Jades, under 20, I think. But those packs add up, and if you're not paying for the game, those are your only avenues. Now, if you are willing to spend money, go spend money. That's the fastest way to get orbs for sure. Just understand that the percentage to get a particular character is very difficult, so it can take a long time to get that certain monster, especially when, well, at least the good thing is that they have a specific gacha where you're in there, so you know where to spend your orbs, save up for, rather than, for example, Lorelei. It's hard to get her because she's in the general pool, so there's no rate ups for her specifically, or maybe the water hatcher will do it once in a while, or the DX will feature her as the 16 for the month, but that's a little tough. Now, as for the top 10, that's a little bit of a lot of stuff. So I made a shorter version of just 3 monsters of each element that I particularly liked when I thought about your question, and I arranged it here. And so, Fire, Walpurgis is one of my favorites from the start. I got her pretty quickly, which was really nice. And her getting that surprise Transcension during Valentine's was pretty awesome to see. So I really like using her. And second is the Sailor Moon or Sailor Mars version of Himiko. Whenever I get the opportunity to use Himiko, I always defer to the Sailor Mars version. And I really like you know, the skill set is really nice with that chain meteor and the extra damage with the slayers, but you know, having that Sailor Moon theme on it too is a really nice bonus. Then I got Apple, really cute character. I feel like, and you know, having that supporty level of usages is really nice. So I do try to bust her out when I can. For water, shouldn't be a surprise to see Lorelei in the first slot. Just all around strong, versatile, even, you know, bringable to quests where she doesn't have the nulls for, and just straight up power, just strong, and love to see her getting, you know, being the strongest non-limited monster in the game. Super happy to be a Lorelei fan here. Number 2 is probably just my favorite character in a collab so far is Yuna from Final Fantasy X. You know, being able to get her from that gacha was really, really satisfying. And while I really don't get to use her a lot, I do use her on that one Tower of Champions stage where, you know, the fire with all the lava, always use her there, so it's good to see. And a drop monster that I particularly liked in the water was Van Helsing. She came through the, I think it was X-Flag Park, but it just had a cool mechanic to get her, and you know, the art is really beautiful, you know, with that coffin, you know, the gun that she has, you know, as that vampire slayer, and you know, having that bullet bump combo is really cool to see, so I really like enjoying using her in the game. For wood, I picked Tampopo, Belphegor, and Kushinada. Just all-around monsters that I really like using in. You know, I didn't have Tampopo for the longest time. Finally got her through the means of the Valentine's form of her. And, you know, that art was really nice. Belphegor, I really liked the Ascended art. You know, she had that just the watermelon to eat, and the little crab there that had a cute little pull on her skirt. I think that was an adorable art. And Kushinada, I just feel like, you know, strong from the first year of Monster Strike, still usable up to this day. Of course, you know, there are many monsters better than her now, but just seeing her being used once in a while, and seeing that she is viable, you know, with that command strike shot, really cool to see. And, you know, I just love using any opportunity to use her. For light, you know, Miyamoto Musashi is probably up there in terms of like, he doesn't have any nulls, right? He's just a slayer. And I really hope that he gets an awesome transcension to, you know, really amplify his elemental damage, because it is amazing to use him when possible, and you know, getting that opportunity to bust him out is really nice. I have Snowball Alpha in the second slot. You know, I really loved how they completely transformed her from garbage to just a bump combo powerhouse. Now again, it is a little bit hard to use her, and the opportunities to use her are very slim, but just seeing that bump combo do all that damage and work out nicely is just so satisfying. So love that. And last but not least is, you know, the Dora Zombie from the Doraemon series. When he came out, right, he just revolutionized having a, you know, collab character be useful, a drop monster that's useful, used everywhere, you know, when back in the day, right? Like any opportunity you saw, like his skill set was just so usable. And so like to this day, it's, you know, and you probably saw when I was going over my usages for monsters that he was up there and still up there to this day, outclassing a lot of people, and like he was the max luck monster to use, so had to give him props here. And for my dark monsters, I have Independence there, you know, Montana. She needs some more love. Hopefully we can see what she has in store, but you know, she has a special place in my heart, and just to see her as the oldest monster not yet transcended is hard to see, but that has to be a sign that they're going to give her an amazing something when that transcension comes. Otherwise, it's just not fair. 2, of course, Lucifer, just amazing character, amazing skill, amazing stuff that they bring with her with the anime and all of that, but just overall strong, and love to use her. And likewise for 3, I got Harley there. You know, having that skill shot, strike shot, you know, you do that extra damage on the weak point if you can hit it. I love it. And, you to this day, when especially now, since there's a lot of quests where there's elevated damage when you hit a weak point, she just gets stronger and stronger if you can manage to hit that weak point. And playing that game of being able to hit it, can you hit it? Do you have enough speed to make it? It's nice. So special place in my heart for those monsters. It's not 10, but hopefully that's good enough for you. 2 from Hald F Color Twice Size. What's your dream collab for Monster Strike? Mine would be Berserker Akira. Also, how do you unlock the Abyss Temple area? I've been playing about 6 months and I'm trying to figure out how to unlock it still. Well, there are actually 4 ways to unlock the Abyss, and hopefully you get that before the special bonuses go away for the Abyss. 1 is by clearing the Jades, the Fui no Gyokuro. You unlock that by clearing the Tower of Champions once, and that's a bingo board, right, of 5x5. Clear that, you're able to unlock the Abyss. Now, of course, the Tower of Champions is not up right now, so you're going to have to do the other 3 ways, which is clearing a set amount of difficult quests. 1 is by clearing just a single Gozetsu quest. That requires 10 max lux, but and it also only shows up at particular times in the schedule, but you only need to clear 1 to be able to unlock the Abyss Kinki no Goku. The other option is to clear 5 colossal Bakuzetsu quests. These quests require 5 max lux to take on, and you just have to clear any 5 or a single one 5 times, I believe. You just need to clear, have in your stats that you've cleared 5 Bakuzetsu quests. The other option is to clear 15, there you go, 15 impossible quests. And the good thing about that is, well, actually it applies for some of the Colossals too, but the impossible quests are all in the library. So you can go in there, clear Izanami, Kushinada, Yamatake, Izanagi, Tsukuyomi, easy quests like those, and just have 15 under your belt, and then that unlocks the Abyss. So if you haven't done that yet, just go ahead and head to the library and you can do that, and you should be set. Now it might take a few days because of the library point limits, but you could also try to find a friend that'll help you out with that. But the restrictions aren't that. I think a lot of people still think you need to clear the Jades and that's your only way to unlock the Abyss. That's not true anymore. Any one of those 4 is good enough to unlock the Abyss. So please make sure you're aware of it, and if anybody asks, that you share that information properly. As for my dream collab, that's really hard to say because, as you have noticed, I really do not follow anime in general. The only anime that I followed in the past is Metate Conan, right? Detective Conan. Case closed, I think in English, right? And Saki, the Mahjong collab, Mahjong anime. These are really the only 2 that I followed, in my history of watching anime. So if it was one of those 2, I'll be super excited. Of course, anything over on the States side that's super popular, something like Star Wars or Mickey Mouse collab. Those were collabs I would never think would happen in a million years. So to see stuff like that pop up was pretty cool. So it's interesting to see if they would do anything like that that's specifically on the State side. But I think, the point is just like those collabs are just things I wouldn't think of as being collabs. I mean, of course, like Simpsons were like something I watched a lot as a kid, but that's not, not a force in Japan. So that's nothing to, think about in terms of coming over to the States. So I mean, of course, if they do something with Nintendo, like Splatoon, or what else would be cool? Mario itself, Kirby. Love the Kirby series, but it seems a little bit far-fetched too. But there you go. Hopefully that's an answer. But thank you for that. Lolo AZT English Club Osaka. First of all, big thanks for all the help you provide, as well as your usual kindness. Last Q&A, I was the one asking about the girl on the photo frame next to you. Everybody, make sure you wear Saito Kyoko. Best idol from Hinatazaka. My favorite, of course, for sure. Let's see. Would you consider to be a pay-to-play player if you get the 1K followers, as you would get some money from YouTube? Thank you. Now, let me make clear. The amount of money that I would get from YouTube would be very small because I don't do the thing with you know, people put, you know, commercials in between their video and you get like 10 commercials on a 20-minute video. I don't do that. The most I would do is a video at the very beginning, so that, you know, you can either skip it after 5 seconds and then watch everything after that. That's usually how I set it up back in the past, I think. So I wouldn't get much money at this, and I don't expect it, but, you know, getting little is still better than nothing, so I will probably do that when it happens. But as for being a pay-to-play player, I probably won't, because I've been this successful so far that it would be a shame to end my free-to-play status in the game just because I hit a milestone. Now, if there is an amazing collab that I need to have, like let's say there was a Hinatazaka collab, right? I would spend money like crazy to make sure I got everything. But that's not going to happen. But, you know, for the most part, my intention is to play this game as a free-to-play player, just to show that, yes, you can get this far, you can clear all this difficult content, you can do everything in this game without spending a single cent. And that, I mean, that is the essence of why I think Monster Strike is so successful, right? You can't do everything without paying money. It just takes a while. You might not be able to do anything right away, especially when you have a hard quest that specifically needs a certain monster. But the important thing is you can do it eventually. And, you know, this is a channel to prove that this is possible. So I doubt I will spend money in this game. Of course, if an amazing collab happens or an amazing whatever shows up, maybe I'll change my mind. Thank you for that. And I know you're always around, so I appreciate all your comments. Wilson Ardo Damarchi, do you have a passion for creating Monster Strike content? If that was a no, I would not be doing this channel, right? Like, there is an amount of satisfaction I have to helping out people play the game, so of course, the passion for, you know, this game is completely out there. So I hope there's no question about that. For sure. Yes. In Koto, favorite bump combo. You know, I really love how the glitter ball bump combo looks and works. You know, it's a little bit luck related because it kind of like points, you know, shoots at you afterwards. But the way it works, the way it looks, really cool. And also awesome to see just with, you know, how much power it can have. I think that's high tier. And I know you asked another one, favorite strike shot. I have to give that to Lorelei. I love, you know, did you know that her song that she sings, the la 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 at the beginning, it's actually a real song named Lorelei. It's like a German folk song or something, but you look it up. German, like folk song Lorelei. You'll be able to see the a YouTube video of somebody singing it, and basically that first, you know, the first few notes that Lorelei sings on her strike shot is a reference to that song, which is pretty cool. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But otherwise, you know, I love, you know, I think I said that with Himiko, the meteor chain strike shot. And I kind of, like, more recently they had a version of that where the later one you hit gets more damage to it. That's an interesting tweak on that, but I just love that scaling aspect of it. As you hit more, you get more damage, and, you know, Himiko having that sliding through the walls, so you go through the opposite side, you know, Pac-Man style. That's pretty cool. I love that kind of strike shot for sure. Yeah. In Koto, thank you for those 2 questions. Krishna Prasad, what got you started in playing Monster Strike? What other non-mobile games do you play regularly? Well, I think I might have said it before, but the reason why I started was Max Murai. He's a Japanese YouTube you know, CEO of a company called AppBank, and they do a lot, you know, like a lot of web presence and all that. But, you know, he was just this character on YouTube that, you know, this guy, CEO of a company, just started playing Puzzles and Dragons. That was his first start. Now, I resisted playing Puzzles and Dragons for the longest time because I knew I would get addicted to it, and I did not want to get addicted to another thing back then. But the other game that he was doing was Monster Strike, and he actually had Sashimi You know, she doesn't show up too much on videos, but she does show up once in a while. But she would come over to, you know, show off this new game called Monster Strike. I was like, oh, this is very interesting. And around then, you know, the NA version was also starting up. So it's like, oh, okay. So I started playing it and just love the simplicity of this game, right? Like, Monster Strike is literally you pull, watch it bounce around, do damage, great. And they had gimmicks, gravity barrier, damage walls, and it's just like, oh, okay. Gotta make sure you don't hit the damage walls, or you have a monster that has an ability to null it. Gravity barriers, you can't move unless you have somebody knowing that. There's just a really nice small tweaks to a fundamentally basic concept. And like even for board games, right? Like I love games that base around a simple topic, but can make it complex by adding layers of different tweaks and strategies to make it interesting. And Monster Strike is all about that. And so seeing them and having them come in, you know, people from within the company to show off the new features on this YouTube channel. You know, eventually Sanapacho joined in and Panae, right? Both of them were, you know, the core to the game. And you had like Mamiruton and Ai Takahashi on Max Murai's channel playing together, you know, playing together to complete this. And it was really fun to watch and actually play. And you know, it was that much fun, like I said previously, that even though the North American version ended, to start over and play again, there are many times where it's just like, if I have to start over, no thank you. Like Bandori, I lost my original account, tried to restart, couldn't get into it again. Final Fantasy VII, right? Me and my brother were playing. We got our first disc. We borrowed the game from our friend, but that second disc wasn't in the case we borrowed, right? It was still in his PS, was it 2 or 3 back then, right? It's like, oh no, we can't play it, and never really got to start it over again. And so to be able to start from zero, start again, that takes a lot of love, I think, from my side, that I really want to do it, and it's there in this game. Love it. Other non-mobile games, well, of course, Animal Crossing right now, I have spent a lot of hours. Tetris 99 I go back to a lot. Right now, of course, Dragon Quest Builders 2 I'm bringing back up into my gaming regimen to go again. Also the Picross series on Switch, I love playing that. As for my main, you know, computer, I really don't play any PC games too much anymore. Of course, Civ 6 I've played a lot. You know, Civ 4, 5, 6, love that series. And since there's a latest pack that's coming out with the Civ 6, so I might pick that up again to start playing that again, because that's a lot of fun. But otherwise, not too many PC games. I guess the other thing that I've gotten into, Opus, I forget what the game is, but it's another puzzly kind of game. My brother got it for me because he was like, I bet you would like this kind of game. And he knows me very well. What was the name of the game? Opus Magnum. You're just trying to build up this configuration, move it around, and then try to program it into a solution. Lots of fun. Anyways, thank you, Krishna, for that question. Fernando Pereira. Hey, glad to see you all the time. Thank you for all the comments. Hi, Scott. Congrats for the subs, man. You deserve much more. Now here's my questions. MS, when you start playing, what was your first 6-star? For, I think the original NA, that was Independence, Montana is my first. And for my current account, it was Cinderella. You know, I really don't like the Reset Marathon. So, you know, the first, you know, decent 6-star I got was Cinderella. So I used her a lot. And glad to see you got a decent Transcension. Not too awesome, but decent. Used her then, and still like to see her in that first slot in terms of getting monsters. And I really don't want to split the question, so here's the personal one. Tell us one of your funniest memories of your childhood. Thank you, man, for the help, and sorry for my rusty English. No, that's fine. You know what? I don't know funniest, but, you know, cherished memory would be, you know, being able to play with my dog that I had. You know, I had a mixed dog. It was like a really shrunk down golden retriever, she was really small, but you know, my aunt just dropped her off one day for us, and you know, I remember the first few days are just, you know, her yelping in the garage and just trying to keep her safe. But you know, I do have her as my profile picture for my Windows account. I really don't have a full-size picture of her anymore. We might have some, you know, back in the albums back at home. So I might, you know, when I go back next time, try to scan some of those so I can have that handy. But, you know, every time I log into my computer, right, like that's my account that I see her. The cute thing. And I know it's so small. I'm sorry I can't. But, you know, we called her Ringo because, you know, her head looked just like, you know, a freshly cut apple. So that's how you know, she was just so energetic and loved to play around with her. And so that's probably my, like, cherished memories of my childhood. You know, she wasn't old. She lived for a long time, and so of course she's not with us anymore. But yeah, it was just awesome to have her, you know, in the backyard playing around with her as a kid. Move on before I start tearing up. Giga Storms, again, thank you all the time for your comments. Any specific reason you are free to play in Monster Strike? Well, I went over that in a previous question, right? Like, you can do so much without spending a cent, and that is something I love seeing in a game, especially a very successful game. If you could have any collab return to Monster Strike, which one? For me, I would want Saint Seiya to return. That was when I was starting JP and didn't get to finish everything, plus I really like the characters. For me, that is Sailor Moon. I would love to see Sailor Moon, only because if it comes back, those old monsters are going to get some Transcension love, and as you may know, I was able to complete every single gacha monster in that collab, so I'm super happy. In addition, getting that 90 luck Sailor Mars is really nice, and I still do not have an Ibaragi Doji to be able to finish that Ibaragi, you know, the Monster Strike collab skins. And so hopefully they come out with more skins when that comes back, because I love that tweak that they did for Sailor Moon. And of course, you know, Sailor Moon actually being a little bit disappointing in the skill set. So, you know, if a collab comes back, they'll certainly get buffed. So I would love to see that. Final question, if you could have any collab in Monster Strike, what would it be? For me, it would be Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel series called Sen no Kiseki in Japan. My favorite RPG series. Well, that comment was duped by another one before. Ooh. Lost the music for a second. Let me try to get that back. Let's get that music back. But yeah, like I said, there we go. Yeah, either Detective Conan or, you know, Saki would be my favorite. Again, not much hope for that. I guess Conan has a chance since it made an appearance in, like, Puzzle and Dragons, so certainly possible. But otherwise, not much, unless it's like a global thing, which would be cool to see. That I would be completely caught off guard. Thank you for your question. Ooh, I cannot pronounce your name, but Osaki. Well, that's probably Chinese, so let's forget I tried to pronounce that. Hello, sir. I really like your videos and also like to play Monster Strike for 5 years long. If you don't mind, can you give me your Monster Strike ID? We can be friends and play together to pass Gozetsus and Kinki no Goku. Well, you know, I've had a few comments in the past asking for, you know, friends. Fortunately, my friend list is pretty full, and while I haven't gone and tried to filter out, you know what we can do is you can try to put your ID in the comments here, and anybody else out there who wants to do that, you can do the same. I'll see if I can open up a few slots, and then I'll try to add some of you in there. But I mean, for the most part, you know, I try to keep the active people around, or even if they aren't active, if they're unique monsters that I like using, you know, if you're not playing anymore, you still can use them. So having that, you know, in my back pocket to use anytime is still something I like to do. So I'm really not sure if I want to get rid of anyone, but just to open up the possibilities, comment with your ID and your in-game user ID so I know who you are, just in case it doesn't line up with your username on YouTube. And we'll see what I can do there. But no promises. But yes, give it a shot. Thank you. Uciel Ruiz, can you show us a way to farm Abel Berries? Is there an effective way to farm them? Well, personally, I don't farm the temple that much. Just make sure you're aware of which abilities are maxed out for a certain character. For example, right, I use Fire 2 to get the perfect set of Abel Berries for Lorelei, and the only suggestion I can give is to take advantage of the berry system, right? You see that there's that on-off switch on the top right of the temple that of course keeps track of the Abel Berries you did not eat. If you want a specific one, you got to make sure to not eat anything until it gets there, right? Don't eat anything, it never comes back. So slowly the pool of Abel Berries that you can get shrinks, and once you get the one you want, eat it and start over again. Of course, the other thing would be to make sure to utilize the bonuses as much as possible. Monster Strike Day, 10th, 20th, or 30th, you get 2 Abel Berries on a speed clear. There are campaigns to give 2 Abel Berries on a no continue clear. You can also use your Erabirubel, which gives you increased rates on gold drops, or to give that, double drops on the no continue clear, or the other one that gives both but only occurs for 30 minutes. Those Abel Berries, you want to maximize that. And so if you get all of that and use a biscuit so you get double drops, that's your best chance to get as many gold berries as possible, right? So you get 2 for the speed clear on Moss Day. You get 2 for using the, either the campaign or the Erabirubel. So that's 4. And then you use your biscuit to get 8. Let's say you get lucky, and of course you want to guarantee that the boss drop, use that item, drops a gold berry. That's 9. You maybe see Berry Bro to get 10. There's a lot of opportunities to get a lot at once, but of course requires a lot of timing, luck, and awareness of using all your berries, right? I don't understand using Temple without getting that guaranteed gold berry item. It's just a waste of time, right? I don't like wasting time. Use it on the proper times to maximize your output. Hopefully that helps, Uciel. Vanmanix, burning question about X-Flag the company. Since you talked with Pete, who I believe works out of Japan HQ, I'm wondering what it's like to be part of the Monster Strike dev team. This is the only game I play where you don't really get the developer insight in the game because I don't understand Japanese, or I don't understand that in the Most magazine as they aren't translated. So basically my question is, how does Pete describe his experience working on the dev team, and does he have a sense of how the developers think when they are deciding on what content to put out for players? What are their design principles, philosophy? Personally, I would think there's one of the best run game from a live ops standpoint, so any insight into this would be fantastic. Well, first, I don't want to speak for Pete, so I don't want to answer anything that, isn't from him directly, so I don't have these kind of answers because I never asked him these kind of questions. And what's most important is that Pete is the, translator guy, right? He's not the dev, so I can't really talk about the actual processes to create content or, designing levels, because that's not what he did, right? He was the guy who helped out, for the English on Monster Strike, and so it's really hard for me to say, answer any of these questions to give any insight on that. So I know this is the kind of question, I know in the past you've asked similar things, but unfortunately it's just, I cannot give you an answer to that because I don't know, and personally I haven't asked Pete about that, and so it's really hard to answer that. And while, sure, there may be articles about how things have been done in the past, but again, I personally not too interested in the details of that kind of stuff, so I haven't looked into reading any of those articles or just trying to get an idea of that. So unfortunately, if there are articles out there, I haven't read them, and sorry, I really don't have any intention to translate any of that stuff. So I know this is a non-answer, but sorry, there's not much more I can say about that. Oof. Alright, I'm glad I split this into 2 parts. Mellow, can you translate the filter for Monster Strike? Example, null magic circle. And thank you very much for doing videos. So for this, if you haven't been following the Discord channel, it is in a link on the below. I've actually been doing a lot of things to help with translating some UIs. So you should, I highly suggest joining the Discord to check it out, because you can see things like this that I've been doing to try and help out with the translation. And as you can see, this is, I think, what you were wanting, Mello. Here is the filter menus. You can see all of the things that you can try to filter out your, let me try to position myself here. Filter what you want to see in your box. So of course the ability section, I had to expand on the right. But there's a lot of other things you can do, right? Bounce, pierce, try to get the types. The rarity, evolution state, whether they've been super leveled or super typed, whether they've been maxed out in terms of luck, and of course each rarity has their own max comment. Certain special monsters only max out at 2 luck. Abel Berries, that's a separate screen. If you want to see if you got it through gacha or not the gacha, have you RSVP'd for their ascension materials, stuff like that. So there's other translated stuff that I'm working on. It's not all finished, but yeah, and if you want that, just stop and go back in time. But go into the Discord channel, and slowly I'm gonna add more. And then once I'm done, I will probably post them all on a memories thing, so that it's easily accessible on Twitter as well at ENGMods. But it's not quite done yet, so still a work in progress. So thank you, Mello, for that question. Hopefully that helped. And last but not least, Captain Regular. Hey, thankful for all the help getting into MSJP, man. For the QA, I would like to hear your choices for most slept on monsters. So I would assume this is strong monsters that people haven't noticed or hoping to get some love in the future. I honestly think Apple follows that that category, right? A good support monster that doesn't see too much use, but you know, when she does shine, she does have a lot of utility with that speed up and you know, her skill set. So I really do like Apple in there. And in terms of like what else? I mean, of course, you know, I have a small, you know, from that initial menu that I showed at the beginning of this video, somebody like Snowball Alpha, who has a really strong bump combo. Just, you know, even showing Chaz some usages, even though the skill set would have mandated it, pretty cool to see. So I guess it'll be my 2 that would pop up. Your most wanted new collab. Again, that's the 3rd time I've asked that, so hopefully you were paying attention to that. Best Monster Strike waifu. Well, that was a question I had on my last Q&A session as well. Again, I don't consider waifus in Monster Strike that much, right? Like, you know, I'm saying, like, you know, like I said last time, I'm pretty sure Lorelei cute, but I don't know if I'd go that far. You know, if it's just like from an art point of view, like I said, I'm pretty sure I said this last time too, right? Like short haircuts, like those kind of designs for you know, characters in Monster Strike is certainly the type that I like, even in real life too. But you know, of course, like recently, like Kirari, like for example, that shortcut was really nice to see. Or something like I was looking through my box earlier to try and answer this. It's like Macron, I think, had a shortcut too. Stuff like that is certainly stuff I like. Units most in need of a new Transcension or Kai. Well, that goes back to what I was saying. Like Merlin would be a great opportunity for a Kai that I would love to see shine. But for Transcension, of course, Montana, Sakura, Miyamoto Musashi, of course Sarutobi Sasuke. You know, popular old monsters that just have been left behind. I'm looking forward to see what kind of Transcensions or Kai Transcensions they would get. And that is it at 40 minutes almost. So glad I split it up, but whew, that's it for the Q&A sessions. Again, I want to say thank you for each and every one of you. If I didn't say it individually, thank you again. Really do appreciate all the questions you gave. You're just, like I say, it really does give me that motivation to keep going, and I really do appreciate the time you take out to watch it, and hopefully all the content that I give is something that you enjoy. And if there's anything you'd like to see going forward, just let me know. I'll try to see if I can do it. Of course, timing is a thing, and of course you see that the ebb and flow of when I do videos or not. Gotchas are probably a confirmed thing that I do a lot, but there's a lot of dips in between when things are just event focused or collab focused. And I am spending time farming stuff or playing other games as well, so it might be a little difficult to get that push to keep doing things. That's, I don't try and say I'll do it every day, right? Because I know that's an impossible task for me. But I try to do my best to make sure that the content's still going. So if there's anything you'd like to see, I'm open for suggestions. And otherwise, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Follow me on ENG Monst. Join the Discord. That's the best way to get latest information, either Twitter or Discord. But other than that, thank you so much again. We will hopefully do this again once we hit 1,000 subscribers, because that would be awesome. And a lot of cool things can be updated then. So until next time, bye bye. And again, thank you very much.